Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. It's been a week since I've seen you guys, but I'm very happy to come back here and deliver you guys another episode here of the Talk That Talk Show. And for those of you that don't know why we took a week off, I think this is a great way to introduce you guys a little bit to what's going on in my life and really what's been, really on my mind over these past week or so that I took some time away from the show. Um, for those that are closest to me, they know, how much I truly, how can I say, hold the people that are closest to me. And, I always hold them dear to me. And the people that I see all the time and people that I interact with a lot, those interactions mean the world to me. And literally, seeing my aunt Darice, my aunt was somebody that I got to see on an everyday basis. My mom, had done a great job of taking care of my aunt and having her come into the home along with my dad, and the rest of the family. It was really just a joint effort to try and help my aunt Darice. And nobody likes to see their loved one decline and see the drop off in health. And one of the things that I truly did appreciate was being able to see my aunt every single day when I would leave out the house for work, when I came in from work, and she'd be asking me about bowling. Um, my aunt has always been somebody that, has instilled confidence within me and, somebody that always tried to push me to be a little bit better each and every day. And, whenever I would leave out of the house, whenever I would come back, my aunt would, even though she didn't see me, bowl on the lanes or anything like that, it always seemed like she had the right words of advice to say, even if I had gotten smoked out in bowling and didn't have my best night. And it's kind of been like an extension of what my aunt has meant to me over these years. My aunt has always been somebody that told me that how amazing I was, no matter what anyone else thought of me, no matter what I had done. She always found a way to tell me how great I was. And I feel like positive words of affirmation are something that we really don't get a lot, especially when we get to the adult age. So, I always just valued whatever words of advice my aunt had for me. And, the effect that she had on me was, that chip on the shoulder. My aunt was somebody that never complained about anything. But if it came down to anything competitive wise, she was going to give you 110%, try and kick your ass. And, I carried that same chip on my shoulder, whether it was walking on to college basketball, whether it was picking up bowling and trying to, make my name for myself each and every time I get on the lanes, or, just being a great partner in a relationship. I've just really strived to be the best version of myself. And my Aunt Darice, always, telling me how great I was. And, you know, just just being there and listening. I think that it means a lot. A lot of times we have situations where we feel like we have to go through things by ourselves because we have no one to talk to, or no one to hear us out. And I just feel like, for so many times, even though my aunt hadn't seen me, out there on the lanes competing, she represented just solidarity and support for me. Whether I won or lost, she still told me how proud of she was of me. And you know to lose that, and to have a situation where my aunt is no longer here anymore, and to hear the scream of my mom, which is something that I'll never get over. um it's just something very, it's devastating, but at the same time, one of the last things I said to my aunt, and this was one of the craziest things, you know just maybe a couple weeks ago, I just remember talking to my aunt and laughing and joking. And seriously, within the span of like a week or two, We just had a tremendous decline, and to the point where I couldn't even understand what my aunt was saying to me anymore, and that was heartbreaking. To experience that decline so quickly. But one of the things that my mom had said to me was, if you had anything that you wanted to say to your aunt, now would be the time. And nobody really knows. Um, Nobody really knows how to say goodbye to somebody, or what to say if it becomes your last things that you have to say to somebody. And for to tell to talk to my aunt for one of the last times before she passed away, I just knew what to say. And one of the things that she constantly talked to me about, and how I grew strength from her, was just competition. And as sad as it sounds, one of the last times I talked to my aunt, I talked to her about bowling. I just told her how I just wanted to give her one last win, and win or lose, I just wanted to go out there and give her the 110%. And in such a Aunt Darice fashion, that Thursday before break, we were in a dogfight. We had won the first game and we lost the second game, and it was just something in me. I was like, man, I can't, make this promise to my aunt and not follow through on it, and I just went to um, I just went to a special place, and I just gave it 110%, man. And I joked to my aunt before I left out that night, and I was like, I might mess around and shoot 300, and I had front six that night, and even though I didn't shoot 300, it was that effort to get those first six, to get those first seven, and give our team a chance to believe that we could get it done. We came back and got a big time dub, man, and I couldn't do much to help my aunt, in the position that she was in, but I just felt like I could give her one last win, and that's what we did last Thursday. Gutted out a huge win. I went to work on Friday, and then had my girlfriend come in, and she told me straight up that she had to talk to me, and I knew it wasn't anything good. And literally that following morning, I found out that I had lost my aunt, and I was just happy to give her one last win. I really wanted to come here on the show last week, because one of the things that my aunt truly loved was the Talk That Talk show. Every time I got done with the show, she would always be listening in and tell me about the things that she liked, the things that she appreciated about the show, how I helped her out, and helping to let her know about what went on in sports that day. And it's a little different, today, especially knowing that my aunt isn't over there across the curtains. It's just a lot different, man. And I just feel like nobody can ever prepare you for losing people. I've said it so many times before. You get tired of burying your friends. You get tired of burying your family members. I was talking to my boy TK, and he is saying something about along the lines of he hasn't had to bury anybody like that, or he hasn't had like a close death. And for those people that have not had those experiences before yet, it's just something that you can't prepare for. And it's something that never gets easy. I had to bury one of my best friends, and one of the toughest things was, having my girlfriend come to me. She's like, wow, Barry, it's coming up on 2-3 years, 2 years that Andrew's been gone. And, after a while, you start to feel that, life does go on, but the hurt's still there, doesn't go anywhere, doesn't go quickly, but that's what makes us human, the fact that we could sit here and have experiences that build us, build character. um, that's what life is all about, is going through those tough times. And I feel like I joked around with my brother, and I was like, man, I feel bad for whoever we bowl against, but I truly felt that way, man. I felt like with all the hurt that I've had, and the situations that we had to go through, a lot of times, athletes, they try and escape through that, through the sports, through the competition. And yes, it's given me a little bit of solace, but each strike, each win, it does make me feel better for that day, but it doesn't take away the hurt, and it won't bring my aunt back, it won't bring Andrew back, it won't bring my friends back, but the bottom line is, you got to go out there and live, while you're out here on this earth. You got to live, you got to find a purpose, find something to make you want to get up in the morning, to find something that you are passionate about. Those are the things that truly, build up who we are. And, in times where, we have tribulations, we have things that, we might not want to go through, but those are the times that you lean on the people that mean the most to you. And those are the times that we find out who we truly are. And, what I found out is, over this past week, I got that dog in me, man. I got that competitive spirit. And, that's not come from anywhere. And that's purely from my aunt. You know what I'm saying? From her giving me that confidence every day to say, you're the best. You can do this. That confidence, I just take with me every single day. And it doesn't get any easier. But, part of my growth and part of, for me to be okay, as much as I wanted to go out there and give you guys an episode last Sunday, I just couldn't. I just could not. I had to allow myself some time to heal. Not to say that I'm completely, back to, 100%. I don't think anybody can ever be after you lose someone close to you like that. But I think the bottom line is, you have to continue to live on and live your life and go 110%, because the people that are not here with you to go along with the journey with you, they want you to go 110%. They want you to grind. They want you to go and fulfill your dreams. One of the things, my aunt always told me was just so how proud she was that I grew this talk show. And she said, and she always said, I don't want to say, overuse the word, but she kept using the word amazed. She was amazed at the fact that I was able to just build something from scratch, something that so many people can gravitate towards. She always talked about how I just had such a busy day. And, I just hope that in this time that I still have on this earth, whether it is competitively, whether it is professionally, I just want to give 110%. And I just want to give, people, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any fucking platform that we're streaming on, I just want people to realize that, this is me. This is 110% me. A lot of times people live their whole life trying to be something that they're not, and that's why they have the toughest times being happy. And I just feel like so fulfilled for not only the time that I had with my aunt, but fulfilled for the amount of people that were here supporting me in this time. A place that I had worked for not even a month, when they sent flowers to my house and did more for me in support than a place that I had worked for over months. And it's not a comparison thing, but it's like, when you put things in perspective and when you're at your lowest, you truly see and get a sense of who can be there to help you pick yourself up. And it's been refreshing to see the amount of people that have really supported me in this time. So if you've sent any text messages, if you've sent any calls, if you've reached out to my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, anybody in our time of need right now, I appreciate you so much because, again, nobody can prepare you for losing a loved one, but at the same time, you got to continue to fight on. My aunt would have wanted nothing more than for me to, on a situation in X League where, I bowled like absolute dog water in X League. I think I didn't even shoot 500. But, to then go back at Strathmore that same day and go out there and shoot a 658 and prove to myself that I can do this and that you can make the adjustments. It's the whole thing of resilience that my aunt stood for. My brother joked, he said, even until, her last day, she wanted to go out on her own terms. And if that meant she wanted to have a little tea when she wasn't supposed to, then damn it, she was going to try and have some, we all have to, stay resilient. And that's the one thing that I would like to take from me that my aunt gave me is just, the path of resilience. It's so easy to just quit. It's so easy when things aren't going your way to just give up, just hit the power off button. But it's hard to pick yourself up from the ground, to pull yourself out of the mud and think that, and believe and prove to yourself that you can do this. It's hard. It's so easy to just lay there and take what's coming to you. But, when I had that Holmes name, when it was given to me, you're a born fighter, and I think that, any one of us in our family, we just pride ourselves on just being resilient. And, with me, I didn't want to, go forth any forward on this episode or talk about anything else without, bringing up the fact of what my aunt meant to me. A lot of people, asked why we didn't have a show or why we didn't record last week. And I just truly wanted to honor my aunt. And, I think that anybody that means a lot to you or anyone that means closest to you, just listen to them, man. You never know how much time that you're going to have with that person. And looking back, I wish that I would have just, maybe taken a little bit more time or, not have moved at the pace I did in my life and just maybe just taking a couple extra minutes. But you don't get that time back. And I think that, for a lot of people, we always talk about trying to make up time and you don't get that time back, guys. So, if anything that I can teach you or tell you through this episode, just value your fucking time, man. Whether it's with your family, whether it's with, your own personal life, whether it's with your relationships, time is not promised, I've had every instance to realize that and to understand that. But it doesn't make it any more real every time there is an instance that reminds us that time is priceless. I just want to make the most of my time this here on the earth. You see and meet a lot of people that choose not to influence people in the right direction. They choose not to make the right decisions and waste that blessing of life that's been given to us. And I think that from what my aunt did and what she stood for, what she lived through, what she survived from, um, I'd be doing a disservice to myself if I wasn't giving 110%, or doing what I could to make the most out of my life. And I can just say that I got the best support system in the world. I got the best girlfriend in the world. I got the best family, pops, mom, my brother, my sister, TK, Jeff, Ish. I just got the best friends, support group, friends, family, and truly they've helped me out through this time of need. Big shout out to my boy CJ. Love you too, brother. A lot of people have checked in on me on this time. And, I'm just here, and I thought it was very important to just take the time, obviously, to heal, to make sure I'm okay, to feel everything that I needed to feel. But I'm here, on this show today to tell you guys and let you guys know I'm okay. Am I hurting? Yes. You may see me at the alley. Yeah, I might be laughing, might smile a little bit, but those smiles don't exactly let you know what's going on in the life all the time. And I take and I value these opportunities to come on the show and just be myself, man. I can't tell you how therapeutic it is to get out your emotions, to get out those feelings, to let people know what's going on in your life. Because I want to say this last statement before I hop off the air. Mental health is super, super important and something that is not valued often enough. And, I had to take this week, in losing my aunt, to prioritize my mental health so that when I went to work, so that when I competed, that I could be the best version of Barry Holmes. And unfortunately, whether it's professionally or not, sometimes people don't prioritize their mental health. And one of the most heartbreaking things that I had to experience was literally, I'm not going to say any names, but I was working at the high school, obviously, and I had to watch one of, my greatest mentors. There's somebody that I look up to in the game, somebody who's served over 20 years in the school district. I watched him have a mental breakdown, and it was literally heartbreaking. Seeing this guy make no sense, just completely look like a different person, screaming and just literally looking possessed from his own body. And it's heartbreaking not only to see a downfall from somebody like that, but also to see the people that he worked with and that he gave his all to just not support him in the same way. And, that's why, again, I say it's just so important, if you have and feel some sort of way, to just let somebody know. Because if you don't say something and if you don't let someone know how you're feeling and what could potentially be going through your mind, there's no telling what negative things can happen. And I watched this guy who his wife had informed a coworker earlier on in that day that, hey, he's not looking too good when he left out this. Can you watch out for him a little bit? And it's like, damn, maybe if she, would have been a little diligent to keep him at home, or, there's just so many what ifs. But, the bottom line is this, is that, ultimately I watched somebody who put their mental health on the back burner just so they could do a job, which eventually led to his downfall and led to his mental breakdown. And, we live in such a society where something like this was broadcast and social media wise within the first 20 minutes of it happening. So, here you got a guy who gave over 20 years to the district, giving his all, and just had a mental breakdown. And now his job's in jeopardy because of that. I just think it's bullshit that somebody can make one little mistake, and it can cost them everything. So in experiencing that, literally a day after I lost my aunt, literally watching somebody that you see as like LeBron James, like you're LeBron James professionally, watching them just crumble and go through the biggest mental breakdown. That's what I had to deal with. And it's tough, but at the same time, I just want to use this platform that I have and use the experiences that I've went through over this past week to just utilize this platform to give the message of prioritizing your own mental health. Looking in the mirror. How many times do you wake up in the day and look in the mirror and just ask yourself, are you okay? Do you feel all right? Is there something that you need that you can make you feel a little bit better? I just think that we have to take those personal litmus tests. You got to do that and make sure that you're okay. Because if you let things fester up within you, if you bottle up all these emotions and try and go about the day without letting go of what's inside of you, it can be extremely detrimental not only to your physical health, your mental health, but your entire spiritual health, right? So again, I just try to, look to the best of people. I try to put people in the best positions, and to see something like that happen to a really good friend of mine in that school district was absolutely heartbreaking. So, I wanted to use this episode to not only highlight my aunt and somebody that meant the world to me, but I also wanted to highlight and show people that it is super important to prioritize your mental health. Because had I not, I might have been a mess and not have been able to go to work and not have been able to come and deliver this episode, or might not have been able to do anything positively. I'm not saying that I'm 110%, but what I will say is through taking a little bit of time to process what has happened to me, to process my feelings, and to somewhat try and get a chance to put a band-aid on my heart, I think that is what has been able to give me the best chance to be okay and to get on the path of recovery and on the path of just being on that positive end of grief, man. There's no easy way to deal with sadness. There's no easy way to deal with the things that we don't want to deal with. I was listening to a guy on Instagram. This is the last thing I'll say. But I can't remember what his name was. But he was saying that a lot of things that we're afraid to face, things that we don't want to deal with, we just push them and shelf them. We just push them to the side because it's just so much easier for us not to deal with them. To just put it aside and say, oh, I'll deal with that another day. But it's a lot harder for us to take on those things head on and truly take control of the narrative. Take control of how we feel. Figure out how I can get better, how to process what's going on with me. And that is what I am trying to let everyone else out there know with these episodes or this last episode. It's okay to feel the things that you feel. It's okay to be who you are. I came with this episode with no stage notes. I wanted to let everybody know 110% who I am, what's in my heart, and how I'm feeling. And if anything that you guys get from this episode, just know that if you've lost someone, it's going to get better. It's not going to get better tomorrow. It's not going to get better in a week. But you have to take the steps to make it feel better, not just sit out there and not do anything. You have to continue to try and do the things that make you happy. Push forward in the right direction, because the people that we've lost, they wouldn't want us to live our lives any other way. I know, looking down, Aunt Darice was so proud of me at the fact that I didn't let one bad set determine my night. I came back that following set and I came out and did well and helped my team succeed. And that's all that Aunt Darice always instilled in all of us, is just resilience. So if you love me, if you love my aunt, if you support me and everything like that, when you live your life, and whether it's competitively, professionally, situationally, whatever, just give 110%. There's a lot of people that wish they could be here on this earth to give 110%, to be and to give it their all. And it's up to us, who's still here, to live our lives to the fullest for the people that we've left behind. And I love my aunt. I miss her. I miss seeing her, but I know she's in a better place. And I know that, I'm going to be better. Not today, not tomorrow, but I'm going to work to get better because, I want her to look down and still believe that I'm just as amazing as what she used to always say I was. Rob says, thank you for talking about this. We as black people are afraid to speak about our weakness. And, I'm just here to change the narrative, Rob, that, you don't have to be a hardcore drug dealer. You don't have to be a D-boy. You don't have to pack guns. You don't have to do this stupid ass shit. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to love the things that you do. It's okay to feel what you feel. And if I can be that symbolism, if I can empower people to feel what they do, to accept the things that come, and to be resilient, then I've done my job here. I've made the most of this podcast. I was talking to my girlfriend before about, just how easy it is for people to say they want to start a podcast, but how many people follow through with it to the fullest extent, to where you're getting sponsorship deals, to where you're having and affecting people's lives, to where they're talking about the things that you're talking about to other people. That's a message being spread. So I just take this platform and I take that responsibility very seriously. And, I just thank you to every single one of you guys on Facebook, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, any single one of you guys that support me. I appreciate you so much. Someone like Al, who lost his grandfather. Shout out to you, brother. My condolences to you. He's been dealing with what he had to, but he still found it within himself to be able to celebrate his birthday yesterday. And that's why I was so happy that he allowed me to, celebrate with him and to celebrate his joyous time. I mean, he had every reason not to be happy, but here he was still celebrating life, because I'm sure that's what his grandfather would have wanted. And whether it's his grandfather, whether it's my aunt, whether it's your sibling, your family member, we all have somebody that's going through something. But it's up to us to just continue to live our lives to the fullest, so that person can get a little bit of hope, or the people around you can get a little bit of hope as well too. It's said, we thank you. You don't have to do this, but we do it anyway. Al said, thank you, my brother. Sending love and positivity. I wouldn't be myself, Ish, or Al, if I wasn't being 110% myself. And that's what my aunt would have wanted. And that's why every time when I finished up an episode, she always was so proud of me and always wanted to talk about, what I had talked about in the episode. So, I won't get the chance to talk to her about what she liked about this episode this time. But I do know that she is listening up top, and my life will be not only to live it positively, but just make sure she's proud of me, and make sure that she can still believe that I'm amazing as she always thought I was. That's all I can give at this point. I can't bring my aunt back, but all I can continue to try and do is be the best version of myself, so that she can still continue to be proud of me. That's all I got for you guys, man. That's all I got. This is the Talk That Talk show every single week. This is who I am. This is who I am. That's all I got for you guys.